Hi there. I am so happy you decided to join us today. Everyone talks about money, but sometimes finding the exact right words in English, well, it can be a little tricky. But don't worry, because today we are going to learn how to talk about money just like a native speaker. Let's make learning these new words simple, natural, and fun. Now, you probably already know common words like cheap or expensive. But think about this for a second. What is the actual difference between something that's just badly made and a really great bargain? And what's the difference between spending absolutely nothing because you have to and spending a lot of money just to treat yourself? Well, English has the perfect word for every single one of these situations. Today, we're going to look at 5 specific words. And here's a little secret. 2 of them don't even describe the price of a thing. They actually describe you and your wallet. So stay with me.
Okay, let's jump right into it. We're going to start by looking at things that do not cost a lot of money first. So, our first word today is cheap. 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 It simply means it costs very little money. But you have to be a little careful with this word. Cheap actually has 2 sides to it. Sometimes it just means a low price, and hey, that's a really good thing. But other times, it means low quality. It means something is just made really badly. Picture this real-life moment. You're walking outside, and suddenly it starts pouring rain. You run into a little store and you buy a $2 umbrella. But the very first time you open it up in the wind, it completely breaks. That is cheap in both ways. It was a very low price, sure, but it was also terrible quality. Let's look at some examples together. You could say, flights are really cheap this month. No, that is the good kind of cheap. But if you say, the bag looked cheap, well, that's the bad kind. It means poor quality. So you see, cheap can be a happy compliment or a little bit of an insult. Imagine you're at a fresh food market. You might say, wow, these apples are so cheap today. Or if you buy a brand new shirt and the buttons fall off immediately, you could sigh and say, ugh, this shirt is just too cheap. Now, let's look at the exact opposite, things that cost a lot of money. Our next word is pricey. 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 Pricey just means expensive. It means something costs a bit more than you would like it to. It's actually a super friendly, everyday way to say something is a lot of money. Native speakers use this word all the time instead of the word expensive. Imagine you're walking into a cozy little cafe. You just want a small, simple cup of coffee to start your morning. You look up at the menu and you see that a small coffee costs $6. You'd probably feel a little surprised and think to yourself, wow, okay, that's pricey. Here is how you can use it naturally in everyday life. You could tell a friend, this restaurant is a bit pricey. Or you could say, nice shoes, but they're pricey. Imagine you're planning a summer holiday. You might say to your family, hotels in the city are very pricey right now. Or if a friend wants to go to a fancy new movie theater, you could say, let's go somewhere else. That place is just too pricey. All right, so cheap is a low price and pricey is a high price. But what about when a low price is actually a wonderful thing? That brings us to our next word, bargain. 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 A bargain is something really good that you buy for a low price. It's a great deal. And here is the absolute best part about this word. It is always positive. It always feels like a big win. Picture this happy moment. You're out shopping in the middle of winter and you find a lovely, thick, warm coat. You check the price tag and you realize it's on sale for half price. You feel so lucky, right? You feel really smart. You'd probably smile and say, what a bargain. Let's practice using it. You could say, these shoes were a real bargain. You could also say, at that price, it's a bargain. Imagine you buy a beautiful used car that runs perfectly. You would proudly tell your friends, I got a great bargain on this car. Or if you find 3 amazing books for just $1 at a street market, you can say, buying these books was such a bargain. Now let's take a quick second to look at the clear difference between these 2 similar words so you never mix them up. Here is the key thing to remember. Cheap can sometimes mean poor quality. It can kind of be a small insult. But a bargain? That means you got something really good for less money. A bargain is always a win. You never have to worry about bad quality when you find a real bargain. So, those 3 words are all about the prices of things in the store. Now, let's stop talking about prices. Let's talk about you and your wallet. Our next word is broke. 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 Being broke means you have no money right now. but please don't worry, it's usually just for a short time. This word is so common and very casual. There is absolutely no shame in it at all. Honestly, it happens to almost everyone.
Picture this totally normal situation. It's the end of the month, you're checking your bank account on your phone, and there's almost nothing left until payday. You might feel a little stressed, maybe things are a little tight, but you know you just have to wait a few more days to get paid again. You might say to a friend, I can't go out, I'm broke this week. Or you could say, I was totally broke in college. Imagine your friends want to order a big pizza, but you just have no cash right now. You can simply smile and say, sorry guys, I'm broke today. Or if you spent all your money on a really fun holiday, you might say, I am totally broke until next week.
Now let's feel the exact opposite. Our final word today is splurge. Splurge, splurge, splurge. To splurge means to spend a lot of money on something special. It's usually a lovely treat for yourself. You are happily spending your money because, well, you really deserve it. Picture this wonderful feeling. You've been saving your extra money all year long. You worked really hard, and then finally you go to the store and buy that one really nice thing you've wanted for months. It feels so great to reward yourself, doesn't it? That is a splurge.
Here is how to use it in a sentence. I splurged on a fancy dinner for my birthday. You could also tell a friend, go on, splurge a little, you've earned it. Imagine you usually buy simple clothes, but today you buy a very beautiful designer jacket. You can say, I splurged on this new jacket. Or if you upgrade your hotel room on a trip to make it extra nice, you can proudly say, we splurged and got the room with a view.
Notice the distinct difference between these two personal feelings. Broke means having no money right now. It's a temporary, sometimes stressful feeling. But splurge is happily spending a lot on a special treat. And remember, every now and then, it's completely okay to splurge on something that makes you happy. Remember the start of our lesson? We talked about spending nothing, treating yourself, badly made items, and real deals. Now you can say it all clearly. You might tell a friend a story exactly like this. I was broke all month, so I skipped the pricey places and hunted for bargains. Then on payday, I splurged on something nice. That is a perfect, completely natural English story. You see, you always understood money. You just didn't have the words. But now you do. All right, let's move to our review and see how all of this builds together. Let's look at all 5 words rapidly, one more time. Cheap, costs very little, but sometimes low quality. Example, flights are cheap this month. Pricey, expensive. Example, this place is a bit pricey. Bargain, something good for a low price. Example, these shoes were a real bargain. Broke, having no money right now. Example, I'm broke this week. Splurge, to spend a lot as a special treat. Example, I splurged on a nice dinner. So here is our quick summary. Cheap, pricey, and bargain describe the prices of things. Broke and splurge describe you and your money. And remember, a bargain is always good, while cheap can sometimes mean poor quality. Now, here is the absolute best way to make these words yours forever. First, I want you to shadow me out loud. That means you say every word and every sentence out loud right after I say it. Second, come back and watch this explainer once a day for 3 days in a row. This simple repetition habit totally beats the forgetting curve. It tells your brain these words are important, and it locks them into your memory for good. Before you go, I have one small, fun challenge for you. Tell me down in the comments, what is the best bargain you have ever found? Or, what would you splurge on if you could? Try your best to use one of your new words today: cheap, pricey, bargain, broke, or splurge. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep practicing your English, and I'll see you next time for more great words. Bye for now.